the chosen one. Hear it loud and clear. This is your divine retaliation season. Each sacrifice you made, every dime you had to give up in suffering, every penny that slipped through your fingers at your lowest point, it was never squandered. It was never forgotten. It was never lost in the darkness. It was a deposit, a spiritual transaction that did not disappear. It was recorded in heaven. It is documented in the divine books, sealed for a return with interest. And now, yes, right now, it's coming back, not in parts or transgressions, but multiplied, overflowing, and pressing down with plenty. You sobbed about losses. You wailed silently as your wallet echoed empty. You worried how you'd get through another storm. But you did. And now the cosmos is responding to that resiliency. The days of giving in agony are soon to be replaced with days of receiving in glory. The chosen one. This communication did not come to you by chance. It is a heavenly alignment. Continue watching this video till it ends, because what you're going to get goes beyond words. It is an energy transformation. If you're ready to claim your refund, enter your best wishes. 777 in the comments. This is your moment. This is your declaration. You are part of a global river of manifestation in which desires come true and energy reacts to your inner calling. The more you participate, the more power you bring to this frequency. Now, choose one like this video. If you have not already done so, subscribe to the channel. And let's be clear, you were never supposed to remain in LAC. The sorrow you felt over money was not supposed to define you. It was intended to polish you, reveal the depths of your soul, and stretch your faith muscle. You donated even when you had little to offer. You assisted others while your own pockets were empty. You placed your needs last and yet had the fortitude to go on. That energy is holy. That generosity, particularly when born out of grief, is going to be recognized in ways you never expected. Money does not just move in the physical world. It progresses by purpose, sacrifice, and spiritual law. And as you surrender to brokenness, you manifest it in greater frequencies. The cosmos has not forgotten the seed. Those evenings you lay up worrying how you would pay your bills, those meals you missed, those times you had to pick between petrol and food, those were not random. They were tests of resilience, moments of transformation while others saw failure. Heaven saw fortitude. And now, because you hung on, because you refused to give up when everyone else said you should, you are about to enter a season in which every dollar you have ever spent in suffering will be returned not just twice, but enormously. The debts you formerly owed will be replaced with deposits. The loans you pleaded for will be replaced with overflow. You won't know where to put your sadness. It wasn't a loss. It was a loan to the divine. And now, the divine is repaying you with divine interest. Let them chuckle. Allow people to gossip about how you battled. Allow them to point to the previous version of you who barely made it, who had to beg for assistance, who felt humiliated of requiring assistance since that version of yourself was never weak. That version was being developed in quiet. Now you're going to silence all critics. Not with arguments, but in plenty. You're going to demonstrate to the world what divine justice looks like when manifested via money. This is your financial revenge. This is your spiritual compensation. This is what occurs when a chosen one refuses to let suffering determine their value. You're heading into your compensation, and this time you won't be the one spreading optimism. You will be the one who performs miracles. Consider this every time you give to someone else. You hardly have enough for yourself. That wasn't just compassion, it was prophesy. You foretold your own return. You have caused a ripple effect. And now the wave of that ripple is coming back to you. Stronger, broader, and deeper. You didn't sacrifice to get. You contributed because your heart could not ignore the needs of others around you. You donated because your spirit is regal, even if your bank account wasn't. And now royalty is about to meet your reality. This is not about luck. It is about legacy. What you are about to get will erase the financial agony of the past. Your donation provides a source of inspiration and healing for many individuals. Don't dismiss the indicators of sudden cash possibilities, surprise reimbursements, or presents that seem random yet feel good. Overdue checks, company ideas that ignite your passion, and creative inclinations to create something that resonates with your soul's calling. These aren't coincidences. These are confirmations. You are being positioned to get all that was previously suppressed, the same spots where you formerly felt overlooked. These are the precise venues in which you will be celebrated, the tables that previously did not have a seat for you. You will now own the building. This is what occurs when agony pays off. This is what occurs when the selected succeed. This payback period is not just about financial benefit. It's all about freedom. Emotional freedom. Mental freedom. Freedom from the constraints of not enough. You are entering a frequency where your wants are supplied before you ever express them, where your beliefs about prosperity attract resources to you. Your life will become a shining example of miraculous recovery. People will inquire, "How did you do it?" And your response will not be about hustling. The focus will be on alignment. Regarding being seen, about being picked, about a universe that acknowledges sacrifice. You will not have to pursue money. Money will notice your vibe and follow you. You have moved dimensions. This one, however, reacts to your energy rather than effort. There was a time when you gave your last and no one noticed. But the universe noticed. The divine realm noticed. And they started planning something grander than you could have dreamed. It is time for release. Not merely financial freedom, but also relief. A profound soul-level exhalation. A freedom you haven't felt in years. This isn't just compensation. It is a correction. The equilibrium is being restored. The money you acquire today is not only for survival, it is for expansion. You will construct with it. You will be blessed with it. You'll use it to construct something. And not from suffering, but from strength. You're entering a period in which your pocketbook represents your value, where your equilibrium represents your breakthrough. Everything you lost in tears is returning, and the riches you surrendered in the desperate seas are returning to destiny. Don't see your history as a mistake. See it as an investment. The universe has been watching. Grow in quiet. The harvest is now beginning to show. You will not have quite enough. You will have more than enough. You won't just catch up. You will overcome. You will not merely ascend. You will rule. The chosen one. This is not the conclusion of your narrative. This marks the start of a season-term divine payback, and it begins now. You have made it this far, not because it was simple, but because you were picked to bear a strength that few could match. You weren't simply experiencing agony. You were sowing seeds every time you spent money in the middle of a storm. You were planting seedlings in a soil called struggle. But today that same earth is brimming with magical resources. Your sacrifices did not go to waste. They provided water for a miraculous crop. What seemed to be a loss is now seen as a legacy. You weren't cursed. You were being carved. You were not being refused. You were being developed. And the results of that progress are going to overwhelm your reality. This is a season of complete restitution, not simply repaying what has been stolen, but returning it in ways that recognize the fortitude it took for you to persevere. You will now be piled in the same areas where you were stripped. The regions that you previously disregarded will now overflow, because that version of you, who contributed when you had little, awakened a financial frequency in the spirit that cannot be denied. The return has been set, and it will arrive just on time. The cosmos recognizes your name, and riches is being sent with instructions to locate you. You're not insane for thinking that money would come back to you. Doubled your prophetic abilities. You and I are in agreement. You finally reached the point when your suffering no longer hinders your blessing. It is fueling it. Your vacant days were never about being punished. They were in a spiritual position. The stillness you sat in was holy. You lived with the strain of a slingshot, and now you are going to be launched. You haven't only lost money. You were learning how to handle riches. You didn't simply go broke. You were being prepared to break cycles. These cycles are finally coming to an end. Not in suffering, but in wonders. Every rejection you had, every expense you were unable to pay, and every time you were passed over or refused was a prelude to something more lavish. Then you knew what to pray for. You may not have had the connections. You may not have had the degree or the finances, but you had the will to keep going. You were tenacious enough to give again and again, even when it hurt. And now, heavenly retribution is on your trail. Not because you are fortunate, but because you are dedicated to your path, your integrity, and your inner compass. And that devotion has now translated into infinite supply. A spiritual rule regulates this instant. What is planted in anguish must be harvested in power. It is encoded in the design of existence. You're not attempting to make up for what was lost. You're entering what was always promised. Everything you've experienced has helped you develop. You refined and purified your aim. And the wealth that is coming will not shatter you. It will build you. It will not overwhelm you. It will uplift you. You aren't simply getting money. You are getting restoration. You aren't simply cashing in. You are ascending. You're going to live in the type of peace you used to fantasize about, the kind of ease you believed was just for others since you passed the exam. You remained faithful. You did not sell your soul when circumstances were tough. When things were bad, you didn't get bitter. You remained loyal. You remained open. You remained grounded. That frequency is seductive to the divine. It is difficult to ignore. The formerly dry accounts will suddenly ooze with miraculous deposits. Wallets that were previously empty will suddenly be filled with riches. You're not behind. You are being accelerated. People are about to see something they will be unable to explain. The way doors open for you, opportunities flow towards you, and solutions arise for you. You will not even need to knock. Doors will open because your spirit has been knocking for years. The suffering you've been through has turned you into a magnet. A magnet for manifestation. A magnet for marvels. A magnet for heavenly abundance. This is not simply karma. It's a kingdom. This is not simply about time. It is witness. Your testimony is being recast in the language of riches. Every dime that left your palm in sadness has returned in glory. That money contained your vitality. That energy spoke for you. It shouted out on your behalf. And now their screams have reached the divine court. The judgment has been made. Your name has been cleared. Your record is marked with a multiplied return. And it is not coming from a single source. It stems from unanticipated extremes. Jump. You did not apply for clients. You did not request refunds. You forgot about the investments you made years ago. Random blessings that seem tailor-made for you because they embody the old tale of just enough are becoming obsolete. You are not here to scrape by. You've come to scale up. You are not here to repeat survival cycles. You're here to construct wealth-generating systems. You've been asked to create, bless, and blaze a route. Others may walk on your misery. I made you ready. Your difficult seasons taught you budgeting, compassion, and faith. And now those same technologies are going to handle millions. You are not being granted this fortune at random. It is because you are willing to shepherd it with a heart that remembers. You are entering the realm of money that heals trauma, allowing you to give without calculation, to bless, and to be fearless about what comes next. Invest without hesitation. Because your reward is more than simply money, it's emotional freedom. It's an emotional release. It's now possible to breathe deeply without thinking about the next bill, the next emergency, or the next. What if you were to walk into divine stability, divine sustainability, divine abundance, and the beautiful part? You'll notice the return, feel the frequency, recall the times you gave from a lack, and grin because you're now getting in plenty. And it won't be sufficient for you. You will pour into your family, friends, and community. You'll be the one people turn to for assistance. Not because they are desperate, but because they regard you as fortunate. You'll be the living proof that grief doesn't always end in serenity. It concludes in affluence. Prepare to wake up and feel different. Light, peaceful, and expectant. Prepare to find money in unexpected places. For possibilities that come in whispers and miracles. Prepare to feel that peculiar tranquility in your chest as you check your account. And it contradicts your previous worries because you are being updated, rewritten, and rewired to receive. There will be no more delays, financial retribution, or guilt associated with your narrative. Simply the entirety of what you deserve, and you picked one. You deserve it, everything. Every multiplied dollar, ounce of tranquility and wave of happiness. You are not just getting paid back in dollars, but also in clarity. The cloud that hung over your financial choices, the shame, the bewilderment, the inner turmoil that arose whenever you had to choose between survival and sacrifice. It is starting to lift. You are going to think, act, and attract differently. Because what's coming to you is more than simply money. It is wisdom. It is the capacity to handle plenty fearlessly. It's the comfort of knowing you're no longer living on edge. You are entering a world in which your bank account reflects the healing that has occurred inside you. This is more than a monetary reward. It is your power being restored. The agony you experienced took more than your money. It required confidence. It captured your voice. It caused you to doubt your value. But today, every dollar that returns has those things with it. Your voice will rise again. Your confidence will surge. Your presence will communicate riches before you say anything. You will walk differently, not arrogantly, but with heavenly confidence. The sense of security that comes from knowing the cosmos has finally answered with fire to what you've been silently crying over. There is a change in your favor. You've gone through enough to understand what it's like to live below your potential. But this time, the narrative is shifting. The surviving chapter is coming to a close. The next chapter is not about barely making it. It's all about manifesting miracles. And you will not have to explain it to anybody. Your life will speak for itself. Your turnaround will be significant. Even those who previously pitted you will be silenced. All because you didn't get here by manipulation or deception. You got here by remaining genuine, even if it hurt. This return is heaven's reaction to your perseverance, to the way you gave when no one else did, to how you smiled when everything was heavy, to the manner you remained loyal, even when the solutions did not arrive. That money, created of inner fire, is priceless. And now it is providing true prosperity, not the mirage of money, the type that seems wonderful but feels empty. Real wealth, the sort that offers security, impact, and legacy, the sort that feels like home for your soul. And it's coming rapidly. Allow your past memories of poverty to remain just that, memories. You are not condemned to continue the cycle of financial anguish. You are no longer bound by the struggles of your past. You are not confined to a tale of loss. That version of you has fulfilled its function. It produced knowledge, power, and spiritual grit. But you are no longer expected to live like a lesson. You have been asked to live like a lighthouse, to glow, to overflow, to move inside rooms without shrinking, to communicate plenty rather than scarcity, to assert your merits forcefully. Allow people to see the power of resilience. The past attempted to persuade you that you were careless, that you were cursed, that your generosity was a mistake. However, the future has something else to say. It says, "Well done." It reads, "Get ready." It indicates that whatever you dreaded has been forgotten, is now being multiplied and returned. You won't have to justify your raise. Those who witnessed you break will now see you build. Those who watched you bend will now see you stand. And this will not be for show. It will be sacrosanct. It'll be genuine. It will be unstoppable.